How the hell are we even going to do this video? We ran out of fun. Amos Miracle leaves the East Coast in search of money and a fresh start, unaware that his brother Yort has been killed. Before heading west, Amos had tried his luck with romance, sneaking up to a woman's window in the dead of night, only to be thrown out and sent falling to the ground. Hoping for a better future, he rides to Fuji Ridge, where the booming bison trade promises riches. One evening, Amos spots a man who looks strikingly like Yort in a saloon. He goes inside to greet him, only to realize the truth. It isn't his brother at all. Instead, Amos learns that Yort lived and died as an outlaw, gunned down not long before his arrival. While hunting bison on the open plains, Amos crosses paths with Samuel Marr, who I swear to God isn't related to Arthur Marr or John Marr, leader of the Fuji Ridge Fur Company. At first, the two keep their distance, but fate turns cruel. Samuel's group is wiped out by a single tumbleweed, leaving the company in ruins. With nothing left, Samuel clings to a rumor he once heard. An oil rig deep in the plains, owned by the notorious oil chugger, poorly defended and said to be filled with cash. Desperate, Samuel seeks out Amos and lays out the plan. Together, they agree to rob the rig. They set out and eventually reach it. When they get close enough to see, the rig looks abandoned, eerily silent, no guards in sight. They move in and find it truly empty, helping themselves to piles of cash. But just as they're leaving, an oil rig worker spots them. Amos and Samuel cut him down with gunfire, and as they leave, a rider on horseback barrels past, nearly trampling Amos, tossing a lit stick of dynamite at their feet. The two dive clear as it explodes. Amos rises fast enough to get the shot off, then another, bringing the rider down. But Samuel feels something's wrong. He convinces Amos to climb a mountaintop overlooking the rig, just to see if anyone else comes. They camp there through the night, tense and watchful. No one arrives. By morning, they head back toward Fuji Ridge. When they return, they find Oil Chugger himself outside the butcher shop. Samuel freezes, watching. Amos confronts him. He knows Oil Chugger put a bounty on his brother Yort's head after news of his death. The two stare at each other. Oil Chugger suddenly draws, firing a single shot that drops Amos. He steps over, takes $3 from Amos's pocket, then turns to Samuel. "I saw nothing," Samuel says coldly. Oil Chugger walks away. Amos is dragged to a doctor where his wound is treated. After the first robbery on the rig, the company put up guards to protect the stash. Amos and Samuel planned another strike, but they knew they couldn't pull it alone. Samuel called in two men he once rode with, Cloud and Goblet. The pair didn't take kindly to each other, trading sharp words the whole way to the rig. The gang raided the place, guns blazing. The guards fell, and the cash was theirs. While Amos and Samuel stayed inside to count the haul, two shots cracked outside. They rushed out to find Goblet on the ground bleeding. Cloud stood over him, saying Goblet had drawn first. Amos and Samuel held back, not sure what to believe, and retreated inside to weigh their choice. In the end, they agreed Cloud was a liability. When they moved to put him down, Cloud turned on them, shooting both Amos and Samuel before bolting with the money. Wounded, the two patched themselves up and rode after him, leaving Goblet behind in the dust. The chase stretched into days. Finally, in a canyon, they caught sight of Cloud. Both put bullets in him, but the distance and the rocks made closing in near suicide. They gave up the chase and holed up at an abandoned fort they knew. Around the fire, Samuel told a tale about his pa.
He weren't a religious man, you know. You couldn't grow it or kill it or eat it, and he just plain old didn't believe in it. That was it. And this one time, he hit on up the old Saba Hills, San Saba Hills. Joined up with a couple of Texas Range buddies of his, a hunt. Pretty routine, you know, he done it like 100 times before. Should have been a 3-day kill, but on the second day, well, it all went fuck. Somehow that night, he managed to lose his buddies and top it off. And Comanches, then went and took the horses. So he was starving, and he was delirious, and he crawls up into this motte, like this group of trees out there in the middle of nowhere, just sticking up in this ocean of scrub, and he found religion. At that moment, he told me he found God. And it turns out that God, he's a squirrel. Yeah, big old meaty one. I found God, he used to say. While sitting and basking in the glory and the sublimity of mercy, I shot and ate that son of a bitch.
They laid low a few nights until Cloud came for them. Amos roused Samuel, and a gunfight raged around the fort. Hours dragged by until all of them ran low on ammo and resorted to fistfights. Cloud slipped away again, leaving them too battered to follow. Back in town, they heard a man screaming that he'd been shot. Amos told Samuel to stay back, and Amos ran ahead. In the town, he found Tobill over a dying body. Amos froze. Tobill matched the very description of the man who killed his brother. Without hesitation, Amos put him down. Just as the smoke cleared, Goblet staggered out from behind a tree, gun in hand. Amos tried to explain, but Goblet didn't wait. He shot Amos cold, then rifled through his pockets for $3 before limping off. Samuel arrived just in time to see Amos bleeding out in the street. For the second time, Amos was hauled to a doctor's table.